And welcome everyone to a Tuesday edition of the Podcastinators. I am Joe. He is Ed, and
I'm Ed.
And we are doing a Monday Night Raw review of the events that happened last night. What the hell did happen?
I have absolutely. You know something? I was so surprised by what happened at Raw because I completely forgot that Raw was going to be on. I completely forgot that Mondays were when Raw is on. So, but I thought Shane McMahon was going to show up, and then suddenly what?
No. Shane's not going to show up to a podunk town like Nashville.
I know. Some small hick town like Nashville, Tennessee.
He's from New York City. He ain't going to show up to Nashville.
Absolutely. He's going to show up in Chicago, though. That's going to be great.
That's right.
But that's next week's Raw. Let's talk about this week's Raw.
I just made Shane McMahon out to be like Andy Kaufman.
Can you imagine if Shane McMahon came out acting like Andy Kaufman? That would have been fantastic.
That would make this thing even infinitely better. In a sense, Princess Stephanie sort of made it like Andy Kaufman, but we'll get to that later.
Right.
First, we have to start off with Triple H and Dean Ambrose.
Right. So I came in the middle of all of this. I'm not a fan of Dean Ambrose. Like, okay, let's put it this. I'm a fan of Dean Ambrose. I like the psychotic character. I think it's a really good character. I don't know. Here's the problem with using a script, because you could tell they were using a script. Here's the problem with using a script when you're on live television is that it looks really blocky and really fake.
At a certain point, you could tell that they just sort of like they just tossed the script and they just sort of went off bullet points.
Right. Like Triple H, like stopping in the middle of the promo, just gonna go, "Wait a minute, Dean! I completely thought I thought this was a gimmick, but you're really crazy."
That cracked me up, by the way.
I was like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, I thought Dean was supposed to be crazy.
Oh, it isn't a gimmick. You really are nuts.
Oh my god! I thought it was a gimmick. Like, come on, H. But you want to know something? I'm actually more. I actually want to see Dean Ambrose against Triple H for the title before I see Roman Reigns versus Triple H.
Yeah, watching that thing last night where Triple H is like talking down Roman Reigns, and to his credit, Triple H got the crowd to boo him. Because I guess Nashville must like Roman Reigns, and
bunch of hicks.
Had they done the attempted murder of Roman Reigns last night in Nashville instead of last week, they might have actually gotten the crowd to boo him.
Right. Not cheer and scream, die, Roman, not cheer, die, Roman, die.
Right. Detroit was like, yeah, die, yes. If they did it in Nashville, they were like, there might have been a riot where people were trying to get at Triple H and everything.
Exactly.
But
that's what happens when the Sheik runs your territory to the ground by winning all the fucking time. Finally, the babyface bastard got his ass handed to him. That was years of pent-up frustration of the Sheik never losing for 20 years.
Try 40.
40 fucking yeah.
40 years of the same guy always winning in this. Poor Bobo Brazil always came into town, always lost the same way to the Sheik.
Killed Toronto when he decided not to put Andre the Giant over. So I'm pretty sure Detroit was perfectly fine in seeing a guy who shouldn't be pushed the way he is getting the comeuppance he deserves.
Now that I think about it, why didn't Triple H should have done a nod to the Sheik. He should have thrown a fireball at Roman Reigns.
He should have done everything.
I mean, they were at Joe Louis, which is right next door where Cobo Hall used to be, where the Sheik used to run all of his shows. It would have been perfect.
You know what I would have done? I would have given Triple H and Roman Reigns fucking monster trucks just to have a sumo match on the top of the Joe Louis. I would have fucking done everything to get that goddamn match, try to get it over. But you want to know something? It was great that it happened. Roman Reigns apparently broke his nose. And then everyone's like kayfabing. Everyone's trying to not play around, not trying to play with the kayfabe. Oh, it's an injury that he had before, and blah 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 blah. I'm like, come on. Can I please? Internet, can you please just let me believe for at least a couple of minutes?
Yeah, let us believe for a couple of minutes that Triple H actually beat the holy hell out of Roman Reigns and destroyed his
Right.
face.
No, it's because he has a capillary problem, and it's in his nose. He has a nostril problem. But come on,
It's because Sheamus kicked the table into his face. You know, who cares? Who cares? It's because Triple H beat the holy living shit out of him, and then it's because he pedigreed him onto steel steps. That's what happened.
That's what happened. Fuck. I don't care about all this other shit that goes. You know what? You know who makes wrestling the worst? People on the internet.
Especially all these new internet fans.
Right, because they think they know everything, because they're the generation of the people who thought they knew everything.
I mean, at least we were the IWC who were like, at least we could play along.
Right. Oh, look at that. Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels are having a bit of a feud. Oh, this is going to be fun. Oh, this is cute. Oh, look. He said Bret screwed Bret. That's adorable. That's what the IWC used to be. And now it's just a bunch of angry marks fucking yelling about, oh, he has capillary problems, so that's the reason why he had the surgery before the nose break, and blah, 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 blah. And all this other... And we're not even going to talk... I don't even want to fuck... Let's go into this, because this annoyed the hell out of me yesterday talking about the internet. Right? Okay, I'm trying to get back into the WWE because right now probably is the best time to get back into the WWE. You know, what would them pushing the people that everybody's been wanting to see on television forever?
Oh, yeah.
Right? So I'm trying to get involved into the WWE. They just lost the greatest fucking wrestler in the past 10, 15 years. And now they're bringing in a guy who fucking makes my day light up every time I say his name. Shane McMahon. Oh, man.
Well, hold on, wait. Before we get to that, I just got to say, they did a hell of a job building up the true main event of WrestleMania, Dean Ambrose versus Triple H.
Right.
And I'm watching this, I'm like, wow. They just threw this match together for the hell of it. Probably literally over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
This match should be the main event of WrestleMania.
Because for some reason Dean Ambrose is as over as you want Roman Reigns to be, and Triple H could actually be a heel when it comes to fucking Dean Ambrose.
And if you watch this segment, you know Triple H sees everything. He's like, you could see in Triple H's eyes, he's like, why the hell am I not working with this guy instead of the other guy? You know,
right.
He's like, anyway. And if you go to our,
he's literally looking at the crowd and going, oh my god, people react to this guy. This is amazing.
He's like, if this were the mid '80s, I'm like, this is my Magnum TA right here.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like, I'm Ric Flair. He's my Magnum TA, or I'm Tully Blanchard. This is my Magnum.
Right. Whoever the fuck I am, this is my Magnum TA.
Right. The
guy who just gets over. We don't really know how he gets over. It's not really the Tom Selleck mustache. It's not the great belly to belly that he does. We just don't know why he gets over, but he gets over.
Though I'm sure some of you ladies out there, you would love to see Dean Ambrose with a Tom Selleck mustache.
Can you imagine Dean Ambrose with a great Tom Selleck mustache? One of those great fucking porn stashes that, you know, go along with being as cool as Dean Ambrose.
Hey, Joey Ryan, if you're out there, I'm sure you got Ambrose's number. Go call him up. Give him some tips.
Absolutely. Joey Ryan, I love your dick. It's cute. Dude, I saw the fucking thing. It should have the fucking dick almost poked me in the eye just watching it on television. Love you, Joey. Congratulations. Congratulations, by the way, Joey Ryan, for asking what was her name? Did marry you. I'm really happy.
I forgot her. Yeah, that was the greatest spot in history, by the way. She counters the penis suplex with the vagina suplex.
Mm-hmm. And then he asked her to marry her. Because when you're suplexing your genitals, that's when you know you found the right person for for the rest of your life.
And he still rolls her up for the win.
Of course. Ironically, with a small package. Ah!
And if you're not watching Lucha Underground, Detective Joey Ryan, undercover cop Detective Joey Ryan, greatest thing ever.
So I just wanted to tell Joey Ryan that you have a huge dick and you should be literally your dick is Magnum TA. It has its own porn stash.
I'm not sure how I feel about that visual.
Dude, I'm amazed. Anyway, back to Ambrose and Triple H. I think it's going to actually work out better. The fans love it. The people are really, really into it. And I don't know why in the world it's not the main event at WrestleMania.
Well, I know why it's not the main event of WrestleMania, because Vince McMahon is a stubborn old geezer who should not be in power, who literally should not be in power. But
Right. But that's the thing is, from what I heard, I don't know what happened, but it seemed like Dean Ambrose and Triple H, it seems like Triple H actually sought out Dean Ambrose.
right,
Right? I don't know what John Moxley's been doing since Combat Zone Wrestling, but I can't imagine it being a whole lot in terms of just that's what I remember him being in. I don't know if he went anywhere else. He probably did. But
well, he did combat. He did CZW, and then he went. Then he did some other indie stuff. But then he went to Florida Championship Wrestling, which was the precursor,
okay. So he went to
which was the precursor to NXT.
Right. So he went to Florida.
Right.
That's fine. Okay. That's probably where Triple H saw him. But from what I hear from the records is that Triple H actually sought him out.
Right.
Like he was actually somebody that Triple H actually liked and wanted to work with and everything else. It's like a Bret Hart, Steve Austin situation. Right?
Right.
So I can see why Triple H wants to get this program working now. And maybe right before WrestleMania is pretty good. I don't know. They're going to have the match, I guess, next week, right? I don't know if are they keeping it for a pay-per-view.
Oh, the match.
I heard the pay-per-view is going to be like Roadblock or something like that.
Yeah, it's going to be a network special from Toronto. It's
Before WrestleMania?
Yeah, it's in 2 weeks, I think.
Okay.
It's in Toronto. It's called WWE Roadblock.
Roadblock.
And, see,
I saw the thing on the internet where they showed the old WCW wrestler Roadblock.
Yeah.
I laughed my balls off.
Roadblock. There was a good gimmick there.
There was.
He's big. He's Roadblock.
He's big. He's a big, solid guy. Let's call him Roadblock, and have Lex Luger toss him around everywhere.
Didn't Luger rack him?
He racked him.
Yeah.
How do you rack a guy like Roadblock? How do you rack a guy named Roadblock? That was all leading up to him facing the Giant, I think.
And the Giant still chokeslammed him like it was nothing.
Right. Boy, great way of fucking hyping that shit. That was WCW, though.
Of course. And the WWE is becoming very WCW in their own mind.
Oh, definitely.
And they know they made a mistake where they should have made this match with Ambrose, but Vince is like, no, God damn it, we're doing Roman Reigns and you're gonna like it. So
right.
So
I swear, Vince is treating Roman Reigns like the Ultimate Warrior. He's gonna shove it down our throat until we like it.
But I like, as a kid, I liked the Ultimate Warrior. I still like the Ultimate. I still like the Ultimate Warrior. The Ultimate Warrior had something, and to Roman Reigns, he has something, But the problem is they're pushing him way too fast, where he can't develop it. And
right,
I think Reigns, had they let it develop naturally, he probably would have been ready maybe by next year or even the year after. But I honestly believe it's because Vince is all, well, I got to create somebody now. Who knows? Who knows if Cena's going to be, last another year? Who knows if I'm going to be here another year? So I got to do it now. Damn it.
And the worst part about I think the worst part about it is that they gave Reigns the Shield gimmick.
Yeah.
They put the entire Shield gimmick on Roman Reigns.
Yeah, because
it's like Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose got to be a psychopath, right? And Seth Rollins got to be the evil mastermind, right?
He essentially got to be the new Triple H.
Right. And Roman Reigns is just this guy now who fucking comes out in a bulletproof vest and steals the entire gimmick. And it's just like, it's great that the Shield was a great gimmick, but putting it on one guy and having him carry the entire concept on it, it's like if they gave Rocky Maivia, right, before he turned into The Rock, if they gave Rocky Maivia the entire Nation of Domination gimmick on him. If they put the entire nation, when he was part of the Nation of Domination, if they put the entire gimmick on him. Right?
I'm just thinking of happy-go-lucky Rocky Maivia suddenly becoming a Black Panther.
He did. I mean, didn't he?
Yeah.
If I remember right, that's what happened.
Well, no. Rocky suddenly became Rocky became Rocky, the Rock rather when
No, but he didn't become The Rock right away.
No, he was still Rocky Maivia, but he became he slowly became the Rock when all
he
the
became right. He became The Rock
when all the die Rocky die chants started.
Right, he became The Rock because he was the diamond that shone in the Nation of Domination.
Yeah, it's because all the fans are like, why are you making us cheer this guy? This guy sucks as a good guy.
Right.
And that's the problem.
But that's the thing is with Roman Reigns. That's the problem with Roman Reigns is that when they made Rocky part of the Nation of Domination, it's not like they got rid of the Godfather and they got rid of Farouk and they got rid of D'Lo Brown right off the bat and just put the entire Black Panther gimmick on Rocky. On good blue chipper Rocky Maivia. They didn't do that. They let The Rock literally separate himself from the Nation of Domination before he became The Rock. The Rock was a complete separation of the Nation of Domination. And that's what Roman Reigns didn't get to do. He didn't get to separate himself from the Shield.
There's a lot that Roman Reigns needs to do. And, like, on Reddit, there was a question somebody posted last week. It was like, if Vince McMahon came up to you and offered you $1 million to get Roman Reigns over at WrestleMania or whatever, what would you do? And if you can get him over like in one sentence, what would you do, right? And I simply typed, stop making him look like a pussy. Because that's essentially what they're doing to him.
Now, you want to know how I get him ready for WrestleMania? Feud with WWE champion Dean Ambrose.
That would do it. That would be a good way to start.
That would set him up for WrestleMania right away. That's what I would do.
But
have him feud with Dean Ambrose. And you want to know something? Roman Reigns. It would be a babyface versus babyface match because I think people would cheer Roman Reigns over. I think there are some people that would cheer Roman Reigns over Dean Ambrose. I think you would probably get the point of the match where they both start doing the go Roman, go Dean, go Roman, go Dean kind of thing.
Possibly, but I don't think so.
I do think that'll happen. I do think that could happen because Roman's a likable guy. I could see Roman as a babyface.
No, I see Roman being the type of guy he would end up snapping like, you people, like all the stuff I do for you, and you cheer this low life over me, like
no,
I would see that kind of thing happening.
That's too much. That's way too much. After all the fucking goodwill that they put on Roman Reigns, I think you could probably get to the point where Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns have a match at WrestleMania, and it's a babyface it's a Hulk Hogan versus Ultimate Warrior thing, where they both walk out as faces, but one has to lose to the other.
And of course, Ambrose loses again.
Of course. Of course they're going to put Ambrose. Of course they're going to put Reigns over. The WWE is going to put Reigns over Ambrose, but I mean, I could see that happening. And it wouldn't even. You can do the entire. You can have the entire year, because you have people having Ambrose and Reigns. They like him as a tag team, right?
Yeah.
That's the only time Roman Reigns really gets good babyface heat is when he's with tag teaming with Ambrose, because people are like, oh, the Shield and blah 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 and everything else. So you can build upon that at least 6 months worth of work, right?
Right.
And then at that 6 month point, right around Royal Rumble time, that's when you start making the, hey, you know what? As Roman Reigns, you have Roman Reigns. You know what, Dean? I've been tag teaming with you this whole time. You and me, we've gone all over the country, all over the world together. And you know what I've been realizing? I've been realizing that some people are having a hard time deciding whether and who is better, me or you. And I think that if you do it in the right cities, if you find the right places where Roman Reigns is over, that would get a pop. If you get that, if you have that promo in the right city, like Nashville, I think Nashville would have been perfect because they like Roman Reigns.
Yeah, they were cheering him.
Right. Roman Reigns could get over it. You have that promo done in Nashville. You know what, Dean? You and me, we've been traveling all over the world, but we've been going all over the world, and there's one thing I've noticed in the crowd. Whenever you get a hot tag, everyone starts cheering me. And whenever I get a hot tag, everyone starts cheering you. You want to know something? I think that the people are divided between you and me. So, Dean, I think you and me, I think we need to have the people figure out for themselves who the better man is. I think you and I have to go and have a match. And you want to know something? The only way I can have a match with you and have it mean something, not just to me, not just to you, but to the rest of the WWE universe, I believe you and me have to do it for that big gold belt. I think that can get over.
You just gave it more thought than they did.
And I'm drunk. I'm drunk and high, and I just did that off the top of my head. And you want to know something? Dean Ambrose would just look back at Roman Reigns and go, you know what, Roman? I think you're right. We've been trying to figure out this whole thing. Everybody loves that we were the Shield at one point. Everybody loves that we were a tag team this whole time. So you know what, Roman? I need to know also. I need to know whether or not those people are cheering for me or they're cheering for both of us. And the only way I'm going to know that is if I give you a match at WrestleMania. Oh, dude! Dude, right there and then. Right there and then. And you don't have to, it's not, don't, and I don't want, like, this is what I hate about the internet. I don't want people to go, oh my God, yeah, and then the swerve, and then the double cross, and you're going to have a double turn, because it's going to be like Hart and Austin, where one turns heel and one turns face. No. Just have two guys who respect the shit out of each other, are best friends, and they're going to go and have the World Heavyweight title match at WrestleMania. That way, you can have people cheer for Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose is going to be carrying a tidal wave of positive support by the fans. And Roman Reigns is the one that needs a little bit more positive support by them. So if you have Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns for 6 months and then have them start not feuding, not I'm stealing your sister because I want to bang her kind of feuding. You have the kind of feuding where two guys who can respect each other and are best friends can go out there and have a great match. I think Roman Reigns will get over. And you want to know something? I think when it comes time for WrestleMania next year, Roman Reigns versus Dean Ambrose is probably going to be the main event. And it's going to be for that world title.
I would hope so.
I hope so too. That's my prediction. And again, it's all about the internet, because the internet's like, oh yeah, double turn. Yeah, we finally get to boo Roman Reigns. Blah, 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 blah. You fucking marks. Stop it. Stop doing things that make it harder for wrestlers to get over, because you're not helping. You're just making shit a lot worse and a lot harder to do. I know you think you're part of the goddamn crew or whatever, but shit, stop. Bad. No. That's why, let's talk about this. We're going to segue into this. I'm on the internet doing Twitter, doing live tweeting, making some jokes. At podcasters.com, by the way, at dumbass_forever. We're having a good time and everything, and then suddenly people start popping everywhere. Chris Jericho's too old to be tag teaming with AJ Styles.
Chris Jericho's too old for a lot of things.
Chris Jericho's too old for a whole lot of things. You know why? You know what, though? He's one of the best at every one of those things that he's too old for. I'm sorry if he seems too old to be a fucking rock star, a pro wrestler, a podcast, a guy with a huge podcast following, all this shit. I'm sorry if he's too old for that, but holy shit, what the fuck? Too old? And yet for some reason he's still the only guy that has the most, he's the only one who had the match that I remember from last night on Raw.
Oh God. I like Chris Jericho. I like Fozzy. Fozzy is a solid rock band. Solid fucking rock band. I mean, they do great music. I mean, they came a long way from just being a novelty cover band where they were just doing they were doing a couple of Ozzy songs and Dio songs for fun, and now they do great originals. And Jericho is a really good singer.
And he was like, what, 45 when he started doing that shit?
No, he's 45 now.
Oh. Okay, well, I mean, who becomes a rock star at 38?
Right. Well, a lot of people do.
Well, I'm telling you, but like a rock star, like nowadays it's possible.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about like a fucking balls to the wall rock star at 38. That doesn't happen as often as it seems.
And
like a rock star.
You know, to his credit, Jericho. Oh, excuse me. To his credit, he didn't really. You know, when he came back the first couple of times, he was like, "I don't really, want to be in the main event. I don't want to do much stuff. I just want to come back, just do some little things here and there. Just make sure I, don't lose my step. Just help people along, that sort of stuff."
Right.
It wasn't like he was like, oh, I'm coming back. Make sure put me in the main event. Make sure I want a world title run.
Exactly. He's not asking for much.
Right.
Ironically, he's putting the young guys over. Oh my God, that's a fucking novel concept for a veteran.
Could you imagine? He's sort of like, if you think about it, Chris Jericho is sort of becoming like Ric Flair.
Right.
I mean, Flair when he was, oh my God, God, I feel old. I'm about to say this. Ric Flair when he was in his 40s.
Back in 1993, he had this great match with a 20-year-old Brian Pillman.
Ric Flair when Ric Flair was a spry 42 years old.
Ric Flair, as a spry 42 years old, was having the best matches of his life.
Right. And Jericho, to his credit, he still has great matches when he wants to. He still has
great matches. I like this whole series with AJ.
Yeah.
And I like that it finished with AJ going over, and it showed that, I don't know, again, and this is where the internet marks come in. Oh, AJ and Chris Jericho is a tag team. It looks too old. Jericho looks too old to be helping AJ out and everything. What?
First of all, I think people forget that AJ Styles is 38 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like how the running joke is that AJ is a rookie kid in the WWE, but they forget that AJ Styles is 38 years old. Coughing fit. Thank God we have mute buttons. He's only
exactly. It's just like, oh my God, what the fuck? Why in the world would you tell me that Jericho's some old man? AJ Styles just got into the company.
It's like it's like they say 30's the new 20. Well, 40's gonna be the new 30 soon. So it's like
they plan on keeping us alive to be 150 years old. I think we need to start taking our 30s and 40s with a little bit more salt. I
mean, hell,
our 30s and 40s are not death wishes anymore. As amazing as it sounds, it's not like we're in the plague years any longer.
I mean,
our 30s, 40s are no longer, the point of our lives where everything just breaks down.
I mean, hell, I'm in my mid 30s. Oh my God, I'm in my mid 30s, and
exactly. I just started my 30s, and I'm going through crises,
and I'm trying to redo my mid 20s right now.
Right. I'm going through midlife crises. I just started my 30s. Why? I have another fucking 30 years to go. At minimum. Fuck. I got to do this all over again. Why? Anyway.
But yeah,
but then marks. Okay, and here's the other thing. I like the Y2AJ name. That's a cute name.
I don't think I'm not sold. I think it's just like I hate the whole combination of names. The combination. Oh, it's Y2AJ or like combination of names. I just never was sold on those stupid names.
Like Bradgelina?
Yeah, Bradgelina.
I think that's why people don't like it, because it sounds too much like a couple name.
Yeah. So we know how AJ feels about that sort of subject. The gay community.
The gay community? AJ almost got into a fight with a guy just because he said he tried to rip off Austin 316. Did you see that clip?
No.
Oh, dude, I gotta show you this clip. We gotta put it on this. AJ goes out of his way and gets upset at a guy because he tries to cut a promo of something 316, and AJ just starts bitch slapping the dude and just starts going, "Don't you dare disrespect the Bible! I'm a Bible man! Don't you dare disrespect the Bible!" and just starts bitch slapping the shit out of this dude. It's fantastic. It really is. AJ was selling hurt the entire time until he started talking about 316. And he's like, fuck this selling bid. Don't you ever disrespect the Bible. Don't you ever disrespect Jesus.
That would be great if that happened to him.
I'm a God-fearing Jesus man.
That would be great if that happened to That would be great if that happened to her. I mean, could you imagine that happened during WrestleMania?
Can you imagine Steve Austin coming out going 316, Austin 316, AJ Styles just starts bitch slapping Steve Austin?
What?
AJ Styles versus Steve Austin next year's WrestleMania. Book it. Book it, Gabe.
Well, I'm sure, if Austin doesn't want to come back for that match with Punk, I'm sure he'll come back for that match with Styles.
Oh, definitely. Just for AJ.
What? You got your
Speaking of bitch slaps, to break the fourth wall on everybody, my neighbors are beating the crap out of their children as we speak.
I know you don't like that sort of thing.
I know, it's really fucking annoying. I'm thinking about going out there and just fucking. I don't want to hit the neighbor, but it's fucking annoying.
Hey, what the hell you think you're doing?
Everyone, don't hit your children. It destroys their IQ and ruins their self-esteem. That's my public service announcement for today. Even when I'm drunk and high, I can still tell you that. Please don't hit your children. Anyway, let's go back to talking about grown men hitting each other.
I'm sorry, I just got lost for a second. Like, let's just go back to drunk men talking about. Speaking of grown men hitting each other.
Grown men hitting each other. I like the AJ name, Y2AJ. And there's another thing. Everyone thinks that this is Chris Jericho's way of turning heel. He's gonna swerve AJ at next week's Raw because they got them versus the New Day, right?
Right.
For the tag titles, and everyone on the internet, this is Y2J. He's gonna turn on AJ next week and everything else. And it's like, can we just please? Can we not do this? This is I realize how annoying it is. Now I know why I was annoying back in the day when I was creating the IWC. When I was back at the day creating the IWC, I realize now, looking back I'm like that guy. There's a quote from the guy who created Tumblr, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, I made Tumblr so that interesting creative people can display their art and their passion and everything else, right? And now it's just full of man-hating dykes. I'm paraphrasing what he said, but this is basically what this is a paraphrase, but it's what he said, really. So I'm just like, that's why when I was creating the IWC, I didn't expect it to be all just arg. I'm gonna spoil everything that happens before before the fucking match is over. I'm like, come on, man. I hate the internet.
I know the internet's no fun.
Not at all.
No
fun.
No fun.
You ever feel like you've been cheated?
I'm sad the Sex Pistols never made another album.
Yeah.
They could have done another album. When they did the reunion.
Their last show is in San Francisco at Winterland.
When they did the reunion tour 20 years ago for Filthy Liquor Live, they should have done another album. They should have, after it was over, they're like, all right, you know what? It seems you people do want us more. Why not? We'll give it another go.
Nah. I'm actually going to go see the Dead Kennedys in a couple of weeks. So, and they haven't made an album in I don't even know how long. I mean, Jello has, but I mean, as the Kennedys, they haven't made an album since like 1987 or something.
Yeah.
So, I'm expecting them just to play a lot of 1987 stuff, and then Jello fucking just doing a bunch of monologues while playing the guitar.
Everyone's expecting.
Everyone go find United States of Corruption. Great fucking melodrama.
Everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, it's a holiday, Cambodia." All I want to hear is California Uber
Uber Alice.
Yeah. That's an underrated.
I love that. I love that fucking song.
That's an underrated.
I love driving through Sacramento and fucking blaring that song at the state capitol. Fuck Jerry Brown. Anyway, that's going to be our political thing. We're going to have that out later. We're just interrupting it. Let's go back to wrestling.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what we were talking about. Politics and wrestling are the same thing as politics on internet wrestling. Politics on internet wrestling suck. So stop doing it. Cut it out.
But they go one and the same. And apparently there's a big, supposedly there's a big battle brewing backstage within the WWE. And this whole Shane McMahon return might actually be more real than they're letting on.
I know. There's like I saw that there was like some report or something where Shane McMahon is like actually going to be part of the company again.
Apparently our little joke about the coup d'etat might be true.
It actually is. I'm serious. When I tweeted out last night that Vince McMahon is listening to our podcast, I think we broke the code.
And Vince, if you're listening, you could hire.
You want to know something?
You could hire us.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You can hire us. We're available. Just email us at thepodcastinators@gmail.com or tweet us or like our Facebook.
Like our Facebook, Vince. We know you listen to our show. We know you listen to great talent. We know we're trying to help you, dude. We're the ones that told you that they're planning a coup d'etat against you. We're trying to help you, Vince. We love you. Even though you fucked Vern Gagne to the point where he had to end up in a mental hospital and kill someone, I still love you, Vince.
Look,
I still love you. So I want to make sure that everyone's taken care of, and I want to make sure that everyone is perfectly fine. By the way, Shane, I'm perfectly fine if you ever want to do a coup de whatever the fuck. I'm a pretty good sleaze merchant is what I'm trying to say, Shane. So I'll definitely do a couple of mud raking if you want against your old man.
Basically, a shiny gold, a bag of shiny gold shillings to the person who brings me the head of Juan Velasquez.
Exactly. Shane, just so you know, I can be bought.
Yes, I have no artistic...
I can't support the revolution. You're using my grandfather's technique. It's wonderful, Shane. It's perfect.
Yes, he was very teary-eyed last week. He was like, Grandpa would have been so proud.
Oh, dude. Everyone listened to last week's show. I was unbelievably fantastic. Shane McMahon and Triple H are so... This is. I'm serious. It is a bloodless coup d'etat against Vince McMahon, and it's beautiful. That being said, I was gonna go somewhere. Is what happened with the Undertaker and what happened with Vince. I don't know. First off, I love that the Undertaker still gets a great pop nowadays. The Undertaker really helps. Really helps out things. I wish I wasn't more drunk and more boozy. You have to understand, folks, is that we're doing this on the fly. So JD literally told me to keep on talking. I got nothing to ramble about.
Oh no! I just had a quick emergency I had to do real quick. No, I'm sorry.
Okay.
No, I'm good. I'm here. No, this is. You see, we're real.
There's no editing in any of this, folks. We need to tell you that we're legit shit.
We're real professionals, folks. We can.
Right.
See, this is real live radio. Well, live-ish radio.
This is live recorded radio, folks. We're not gonna fucking play around.
No, we're not gonna.
Need some more.
We're just gonna throw this up as is. Put it. Well, I might.
That's where I wanted to go. Before we start talking about the Undertaker, I want to give a big shout out, to the members of New Day, Kofi, Big E, and Xavier. I give the the first time I saw the gimmick, the New Day, I thought it was complete and utter shit, just like everybody else.
Yeah.
So you all can't fucking now jump back and go, the New Day's fantastic. I remember when every one of you were saying that it is complete and utter garbage.
Right.
So
we all thought it was
now that the New Day is completely popular with all the marks,
all the nerds.
All the fucking, universe.
All the video game nerds, all the bronies, all the...
Everybody.
Yeah.
Now that the New Day is over, I'm now realizing where it works. I don't like the gimmick.
You don't like it now?
I don't like the. I've never have liked the gimmick. It's a garbage gimmick. But you want to know something? I realized watching last night with the whole entrance and everything else, and Nashville not hating them but not liking them either. I realized that the New Day is really not a great gimmick, but a great vehicle for these three guys. Like, I couldn't imagine this thing ever getting over, and it has. I'm not saying that it's over with me. I'm saying that these guys are officially over with me. I hope that they change. If they turn the New Day into the Freebirds, then maybe it would be a lot better.
Well, they'd have to be serious to be the Freebirds.
Right, they would have to be a little bit more serious. If they could make the New Day a little bit more serious sometimes,
which would kill them, by the way.
It wouldn't kill them.
I think it would. I think it would kill them.
Not serious. It would be like Edge and Christian serious, where Edge and Christian would go out there and have a good match and have a match that was competitive, right?
Right.
Whereas the New Day doesn't come off that way. The New Day has a competitive match, but the New Day doesn't come off like they want to have competitive matches. It's like that thing that it's going back to, Chris Jericho. It's like I remember this old shoot I watched. Raven used to tell Chris Jericho all the time, it's great to be cool. You can be cool all the time. But if you're cool all the time and nothing bothers you, then you can't get heat because nothing bothers you. So if the New Day got bothered by something that somebody said or something that somebody did, if they got bothered by it, I think they would be I would give them a lot more respect as a gimmick. They're almost there. I respect all three of these guys. They made this gimmick work. I don't know how, but they made this gimmick work. This is Dusty Rhodes polka dot panties levels of over, right?
Oh yeah.
But I don't know if they would just get angry a little bit. I don't think it would kill the gimmick.
What amuses me is the gimmick originally was supposed to be like some sort of. They were supposed to be like, I guess they were supposed to be black preachers.
Right.
Originally,
they were supposed to be like black preachers, black worshipers or whatever.
They were supposed to be they were supposed to be preachers. I guess. I guess that's because Vince has like this thing for black preachers. He wanted he wanted a new Slick. He wanted new Slick.
He wanted three Slicks that can wrestle.
Right. he wanted Slick, but he didn't want to have him coming out to Jive Soul Bro. Basically,
right.
He didn't want.
Which is weird because Slick, that was a great gimmick too. That was a great song that came out to and everything.
I mean, he wanted Slick, but he didn't want Slick, right?
Right.
So they come up with the New Day, and those original promos were pretty funny. I mean, I like those original promos, and it's a new day, yes it is, and the choir and everything, and
right. Those
were funny, those were great, and everyone's like, oh God, they're dancing and they're preaching it, and Big E's got his handkerchief, and oh my God, he's sweating and he's convulsing, and oh my God, and oh Lord, oh baby Jesus, oh Lord. He's going into convulsions, and oh my God, and which would have been funny if they ever did that, by the way. If they ever did a full on preacher show, it might have been hilarious.
Maybe. If they did like a 700 Club kind of a thing.
Yeah, if they ever did like a 700 Club, like Benny Hill type deal, that would have been funny.
Now, to be honest, if they did that now, like as the New Day is now, that would be over. I mean, I would actually mark out for that if they did a 700 Club, support the New Day, kind of a thing.
The power of positivity continues. The power
right.
of positivity
with the unicorn and all that shit. It would be fantastic. It would be great now. Back then, it would have looked even more hokey, but nowadays, I think now would be great.
I'm just picturing the Biggie just pushing people in the crowd. The power of positivity compels you out.
But compels you out. And just start smacking people in the face in the crowd.
Booty.
Sour. But I'm not going to say it's an over gimmick yet with me. I am going to say I'm impressed by all three of them. Xavier, Kofi, Big E. I do give you props for that. Good job, guys. You got something over that. It's fucking Dusty Rhodes and polka dots. You got it over. Congratulations.
Now, speaking of things that shouldn't be over, but is over, but isn't over. That makes sense.
We're going back to Roman Reigns?
No. We're going to stage the Shane McMahon angle. Stephanie McMahon comes out to give her speech for winning the Montgomery Burns achievement. Oh, excuse me, the Vince McMahon. I mean, hell, they created this huge. They created this huge cubic zirconia reward for some reason. So they're like, well, what the hell? We're gonna get some life out of this damn thing. So they do it again.
We gotta at least push this thing for at least 2 weeks.
Right. So Stephanie comes out and she's like, I'm gonna read my speech if it's the last thing I do, damn it. And she starts reading her speech, and the crowd starts chanting Shane O'Mac, and she got pissed.
Right.
And I think she legitimately got pissed. So much so that she went off script. And at this point, I can't tell if she really went off script or if she went off script for real. You know?
Dude, she was shooting.
Yeah.
I guarantee it. She was shooting again, like we say, she was shooting with cap guns. But she was shooting.
Yeah.
She was out there to say because she walked up, right, and she had this prepared speech that she wanted to give. And I'm sure it was a sincere speech. I wouldn't be surprised if she actually sat down and wrote it herself.
I mean, it was probably a schmuzzy little speech that she knew was going to get the watch chance anyway, right?
Right. And it was probably a speech that she wrote that actually like congratulated herself for what she did, which is exactly what you want. Right. I mean, it's not even like a heel thing. When you do when they give these kind of speeches, right? I mean, they're kind of humble about it, but they usually are trying to congratulate themselves because they can't believe they won something. Right?
Right.
I mean, this is, ladies and gentlemen, I'm literally giving you wrestling psychology 101 here. So, the fact that she wrote this speech and has something prepared that she wanted to say that was going to congratulate herself, she was doing fantastically, and she was trying to get through this speech, and here were these hick, bitch, trailer park, rundown pieces of mud hick, bastard children of fans fucking telling her how great and how much they love her brother.
And the best part was when she's just standing there looking at, she's got her book, the folder open, and she's looking at the script, whatever she has written, and you could see it in her eyes. She's just looking at it, and like, you could see so pissed. She just wants, you could see she's cursing under her breath. She's like, motherfucking people.
Every single time she said a line, she just had to hear that Shane O'Mac's fucking
and it got louder and louder and louder.
It got louder and louder. It literally was like, it's when you watch a movie like Carrie and you hear her have the voices of her mother go through her head before she goes psychotic. That's what it was. It was these chants of Shane O'Mac just polluting her brain at the time.
The only thing that was missing was them dropping a bucket of blood on her.
Exactly. If they had done that, it would have just sealed the entire fucking concept. Shane McMahon has been a thorn in Stephanie's side for so long that she finally snapped. And like I said, she's shooting with cap guns, but she just went off. She closed that book, and you said, you know what? I'm going to tell every single one of these people exactly what Shane McMahon is like.
And what we got was probably about 5 minutes of the greatest thing, probably the greatest promo of her life, one of the greatest things we will probably ever see ever involving Stephanie.
Right.
And I sat there in amazement. I was watching this and I'm like, oh my god, this is just beyond amazing. I was like, I can't believe what I'm watching right now.
Dude, I'm serious. Oh, that promo was unbelievable. I don't even think it was a promo. I don't want to call it a promo.
I absolutely believe she just.
It was Stephanie just letting out steam.
It was years.
And you can see there were points of just years of just hearing how great Shane McMahon was her entire life.
Right.
And you can tell there were points in there where she wanted to say, that fucking asshole.
Let me tell you.
You know there were points in there where she wanted to say that piece of shit. That son of a bitch. There were points in there where she wanted to let that out. And she realized, you can see where she edited herself, where she goes, oh my God, I'm on TV PG. Son of a bitch, I'm on TV PG.
It reminds me of this old Saturday Night Live bit when Jim Brewer used to do the Joe Pesci show, and they had somebody playing Eric Roberts, and it was supposed to be for Thanksgiving, and Eric Roberts is on. It wasn't Eric Roberts, but he's playing Eric Roberts, and he's supposed to be on for. It was after Thanksgiving, and he's talking about how his sister Julia Roberts stood him up for Thanksgiving, and he goes, "My sister Julia. Let me tell you something about my sister Julia. I baked a big Thanksgiving turkey, and she doesn't even bother to come. Not even a phone call. Let me tell you something about my sister Julia." And of course, Pesci. The whole point of the Joe Pesci show was him, killing the guest. But right before he cracked him over the back of the head, not even a phone call. Not even a phone call from that bitch Julia. That's what it reminded me of. Honestly.
Dude. It was, I don't even want to call it a promo. It was just Stephanie McMahon shooting as hard as she possibly could without going overboard. She constrained herself like a good as a well-educated and well-renowned woman would. She held herself back, but she said everything she wanted to say. And you want to know something? I honestly think they probably picked Nashville for this promo because that's what they think about that's what they think about most of the universe of McMahon. They think that they're Hicks. And she finally got to tell every one of the Hicks in the crowd that she's wanted to tell to everybody in the universe how Shane McMahon really went out of his way to sabotage the WWE in her eyes.
And he abandoned. And the best part, what I thought the best part was, he abandoned us. He abandoned
right.
all of you.
Oh my God, dude.
He abandoned all of you people. I've been here every day for the last 7 years.
I've been here. Dude, I'm serious. That's the child that's been taking care of father this whole time.
That's when she really started getting angry because...
Dude, it's like that's the child that's been fucking doing the grocery shopping, who's been taking him to doctor's appointments, who's been, doing, who's been cleaning the house, who's been making sure he eats, who's making sure he wipes correctly, who makes sure he's showered. That's that child. And going against the child who got to get out in the world and make himself out something.
At one point she was going on about how, what has Shane done for the last 7 years? Shane's been on a vacation for the last 7 years. Meanwhile, I've been here.
That's a bit disingenuous, right?
Yeah, I know, but she's like, I've been here for every week, every day for the last 7 years. I miss my children are growing up, without me, basically without me. I'm here every day in, day out. He doesn't even come here as more. He hasn't even been to a WrestleMania in 7 years. What does he do? He hasn't done nothing. Well,
exactly.
I really hope next week. He comes. What have I been doing for 7 years? Oh, I don't know. I've only brought Netflix to China. What have you done, Stephanie?
Oh, I don't know, Stephanie. I just brought pay-per-view to China.
I only made it possible.
I think you and me would want to work together to try to bring the WWE to China. By the way, can you imagine the WWE in China?
Shane McMahon only made it possible for so a little thing called the WWE Network would be available in China. But
right,
he hasn't done anything major.
But no, how fantastic! Again, the psychology of wrestling is it's this promo was rooted in the psychology of everybody. And the psychology of wrestling is the psychology of everything.
But
and this was the daughter who's been taking care of the old man this entire time, while her life is being fucking taken away from her, and the son went out and made himself something. This is fantastic.
And the absolute best part
of it, if they actually had like a good writer, and they actually had someone who knew what they had, aka
me,
the Podcastinators at Twitter,
us.
If they had us, I'm just going to say that if they had us, who actually came up, who understands this entire psychology, we can make something that would be, hell, it would be held up.
Hell, we could probably turn this into a film noir if we wanted to.
This is as real as something has come to wrestling as. It's amazing. When Daniel Bryan brought realism back into the WWE, now we're starting to see a little bit more of it.
But the best part,
I thank God for Daniel Bryan. If there's one positive thing about Daniel Bryan's retirement, is that he brought a little bit of realism to realize that the rest of this should have realistic ideas at the same time. Realistic psychology.
Of course, when his contract is finally up and that contract is over, he's going back to wrestling.
He's not going to go back to wrestling.
He'll wrestle.
He'll have one match, and that'll be it.
Anyway, but I was trying to say the best part of that promo was when she was finishing it up. She starts tearing into Shane about, and why do you suddenly think just you can come back and take the company over? Was it just because you're a man? You think just because you're the son you can take over? And you think just because you have 3 boys that your sons are going to take, that they get preferential treatment, and my daughters are going to be pushed out of the way? I was like, oh my God, she made this about a man versus woman thing too. This is great.
It's the patriarchy. The patriarchy is ruining my wrestling.
When it really comes down to is in the WWE, at least with Vince personally, Stephanie is the son he always wanted. Shane is like Shane is like Linda, and Stephanie is like Vince.
Like if you watch back in the old days, Vince McMahon didn't give a shit about Shane.
Right.
Like he cared a little bit when he was part of the ministry, but when he was part of the ministry of whatever the fuck, I'm sorry, not the ministry, the corporation.
Right.
I gotta remember my 1990s fucking.
Yeah, they're only making us relive it every week.
Yeah, exactly. They're just making me relive this shit all the time. So.
It's no wonder why they're making us.
But
drink so
if
much.
you look back on it, Vince McMahon was feuding with Shane the entire time, whereas Stephanie was Vince's little princess.
Until suddenly she wasn't.
Until suddenly she wasn't, and even then, Vince McMahon didn't really go against Stephanie. I mean, even when she bought WCW and became the rebellious young lady and everything.
ECW.
I'm sorry, ECW.
Which makes perfect sense for her.
Right. The only thing ECW about Stephanie was her fucking surgery when she had those massive titties. That was the only thing extreme about Stephanie at the time.
It's a shame that Shane never got a chance to run ECW. Could you imagine and see eventually Shane's running ECW and see the night that Stephanie McMahon chanced to top the ECW arena.
So, fuck, that fucking broke my train of thought.
But yeah, the patriarchy thing, it was hilarious. It was like,
but yeah, Stephanie's been the fucking princess. That's where I was. Stephanie's been the princess of Vince McMahon the entire time. Even when she was going through the rebellious phase, he didn't really smack her down like he did Shane. I mean, he had a match with Shane. He had a hardcore match with Shane with fucking trash cans and chairs and tables and everything.
He ended up having a match with Stephanie a few years later.
But he didn't smack her around, did he?
Yes, he did.
He fucking punched her in the face and fucking did everything.
He was choking her with a damn kendo stick and everything. It was actually pretty hard to watch.
I didn't watch that. I guess I was.
I didn't watch it either, but I've seen screen caps from it.
I gotta watch that. Everyone tweeter me the that link. I want to watch that match.
From like 2005, 2006, one of those
Yeah, that's around the time.
SmackDown only.
That's the time. Yeah, that's around the time I stopped giving a shit.
Yeah. It's one of those. It's around the time where Vince was suddenly decided he wanted to start banging Sable. It was like, oh yeah, that's right. I'm gonna have Sable as my wife now. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And Stephanie was trying to be a face. You know, she was trying to be the good girl, good guy.
I'm sorry. I think I was living a life in 2006, 2007, whenever this gimmick was going on. I can't remember.
She was trying to. She was the general manager of SmackDown at the time. That's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The only thing I remember her being the general manager of SmackDown is when she wore like this. It was a Halloween show, and she wore this witch's outfit that got to see her outline of her huge titties.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yes. It's a shame that back then. It's a shame back then when they were still doing the Playboy stuff, they never got her to do it.
Well, one day we can hope.
Well, now that Playboy is non-nude, there's always a chance that they'll do something again.
Right.
I must say that.
So how great? But we want to say how great that fucking Stephanie McMahon promo was. That was fantastic.
Oh God. And yeah, but basically, if this feud was Shane versus Stephanie, it would make so much more sense. But because Vince is thrown into the angle, and we're getting to Vince in a second, it makes
we better.
It's so damn confusing.
I just ran out of Coca-Cola, so we better start getting to Vince in a second.
Well, let's get to Vince now. This
is gonna be my last. This is gonna be my last Jack and Coke, so I want to make sure that we get there before I start drinking the Jack straight.
Vince, about like 20 minutes later, Vince comes out, and he's rambling on and on and on about, oh, you know, Shane, you know, like you're a son of a bitch, and like, oh, you know, you lose this match, you know, you're cut out of the will, and you're no longer my son, you know, you're disowned, and then you're just gonna be a son of a bitch, and that was after he calls out the Undertaker, and I kind of feel bad for I kind of feel sad for the Undertaker. I wonder, does the Undertaker have creative control in his contract, or is he just such an old school guy that he'll just do whatever he's asked?
I think that Undertaker has creative control under everything he has. I think I know what you're about to say, so say it, because I think I have a counter to that.
Because it's like, here he is, he comes out for 2 minutes. He literally came out for 2 minutes. I think because I was expecting something for some backstory. Because, you know, the writer in me is like, all right, maybe they're going to explain some sort of backstory why the Undertaker is involved in this. It's like, all right, does he owe Vince a favor? Because there was a theory that last year when the bell ringer rang the bell, it was because Vince did a favor for the Undertaker. It was like, well, that was my favor to you, Undertaker, so now you owe me one. And this is the one. And, you know, Taker was going to be like, I owe you one, you motherfucker. You know, and like, this is the one, and this is it. And they didn't even bring that up. They didn't bring nothing up. So it was like, Taker just gets in the ring. He literally grabs Vince by the throat and scares the living shit out of him. It was like, I'm going to kill your kid, and it's going to be your fault. And then he just leaves. I'm like, so Taker got dressed up, put his tights on, taped up his fists, flew all the way to Nashville for that? I'm like, you mean they couldn't tape the interview like on Skype or something for that? They could have literally taped an interview and done that for him.
That is true. First off, it's good that we got to see the Undertaker.
It's always nice to see. It's always nice to see the Undertaker.
It's always nice to see the Undertaker. Let's get that out of the way. I want to point that out. Always great to see the Undertaker. Always, it's nice that he grew his hair out. I'm happy for that. I'm glad he doesn't look like an 80-year-old fucking cancer patient.
No, he was. I never liked his. I didn't like it when he was doing his Chuck Liddell look.
Yeah, that was not a good look for him. It was just like, dude, no.
The Chuck Liddell look, you know, Mugger Taker, MMA Taker's not a good look for you.
Yeah, that's the reason why it looked. That's the reason why it looked ridiculous when Brock Lesnar beat him. Like Paul Heyman can scream, "Oh, 21-1" or whatever the fuck. It looked ridiculous because it looked like Brock Lesnar was beating up on an old man. So I'm glad the Undertaker grew his hair out for Shane McMahon's match. Secondly, I think that's all the Undertaker needed to do. I don't think the Undertaker needed to have some big drawn out thing. I think next week you're probably going to have Shane and the Undertaker. I think next week on Raw we're probably going to have Shane and the Undertaker. They're finally going to confront each other. That's going to be the greatest moment of this entire thing. This week, Vince McMahon, I think this week showed, and this is like getting all meta, right? This is like really looking through the fourth wall kind of a thing, right? I think this week showed that Vince McMahon is completely lost in everything that's going on.
Oh yeah.
Vince McMahon has no idea what is really going on with all of these storylines and what's really going on with all of these scenarios that are coming up. Vince McMahon literally looked like he was he looked like the old man at the bus stop who wonders why the bus hasn't come yet.
I mean, he really did, because after Taker grabbed him, they had to cut away from the camera because you saw him grabbing water to take a drink of water, because I think the Undertaker grabbed him and he wasn't expecting it. And after he was drinking water, because he literally had the piss.
Trump water. Don't forget Trump water.
He literally had the piss scared out of him. And he was on camera for like a good maybe 90 seconds and 2 minutes.
Right.
And he's just standing there like with deer headlights in his eyes, and he's like,
He's just scared. He was just like, oh my God, what the fuck am I doing here?
What am I doing here? Where am I? Nashville. What the fuck am I doing in Nashville?
Right. And then he started going like, I disowned Shane McMahon.
Oh, right.
I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's right.
I'm
gonna cut.
That's
Shane.
right. I was supposed to disown.
I'm gonna
I
cut.
was supposed to disown Shane.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut Shane out of my will. That's it. And yeah, after I'm done, he's not gonna be my son. He's just gonna be a son of a bitch. That's it. Yeah.
Right there, I was expecting the '90s WrestleMania music. The da 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 da.
Oh, oh God! I just realized. It's not too long before she gets involved.
WrestleMania. Can you see the fire coming up, pump it up?
I just realized it's not too long before she gets involved now. Oh God.
She's getting involved next week. I guarantee it. But you want to know something? I don't think as Vince McMahon looked like he was just a lost old man in the middle of the street. I don't think that this is like I want to say that this is a gimmick. I don't like. There's a lot of people that think that this is actually Vince,
including me.
Like I think you told me that you're like, this is actually Vince. Vince is legitimately just off the rocker.
Yeah, it's a possibility. He's probably had his head bashed in. You take in a history of old man getting concussions.
That's true.
And old man, allegedly, history of drug use. And steroids.
Not drug use. It's called vitamins.
Allegedly, you doing steroids.
He loved IcroPro.
Yeah. And allegedly doing other things. And it's possibly you got senility kicking in and everything. But you just look at it like look at that clip after the Undertaker left the ring, and he's just standing there. He's like, "Where the hell am I? Who are all you people? Mother?
Mom?
Huh?
Dad? Mom? Dad? No, I don't think Vince McMahon's completely off his rocker, but
he's not off his rocker, but there probably is moments where he.
And this is a really good way of writing Vince off, though.
I mean,
I think the best way you could possibly write Vince McMahon off is Uncle June. You just treat Vince McMahon like Uncle June from The Sopranos. He's just gonna go off into the distance. Vince McMahon, I swear to God, there's gonna be a point where they're gonna make a gimmick. Some comedian that's writing for this company is gonna come up with the idea that Vince McMahon that Ric Flair at some point has a belt buried somewhere in Las Vegas. And there's gonna be a point where they're gonna be in Las Vegas and a comedy writer is gonna write a bit where Vince McMahon is trying to dig up the belt.
That's police.
Those are sirens.
Those are sirens.
Those
are mine, not yours.
Okay. Thank God. Okay. Not mine. Not mine. That's a good thing.
I'm in New York, folks. So we have a lot of it's a horrible town, folks.
Yeah, I'm in the Bay Area, so we just have a lot of black folks that yell at each other in the middle of the street and hit each other.
That was just an ambulance. It was just probably another. There's a lot of old people around here.
Anyway, so I think Vince McMahon I think this is a good gimmick. I don't think Vince McMahon's office rocker, but I think this is a good gimmick. And this is how you should write off Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon is just this old kook who thinks that all of wrestling has become realized. I think that's probably the best way to write off Vince McMahon.
You people aren't. It's not you. It's not me that's wrong. It's the children that are wrong.
Right. It's everybody else that's wrong, not me. And you just have like this thing. Now you want to know what would actually like make this perfect, like really perfect. If I were to write the whole thing like this, if this was a year thing, right? What would make this great is if Shane McMahon was the one that was buying stock for Vince McMahon. So Shane just signs his name over all the stock of the WWE over to him.
I mean that
and Vince is like, absolutely, son, you go ahead and do that.
I mean, if they really tried to, if they really wanted to try to explain this story, I think the story they were trying to explain last week, where he was saying, "Oh, Vince got in trouble and I had to bail him out." What they're trying to explain is Vince overextended himself, I guess, and they want to say that Shane had to bail him out financially or something.
Right. That's what the lockbox is.
They didn't even bring up the lockbox, so I guess that
the lockbox.
The lockbox. What's in the box?
That's gonna be the WCW version of everything now. Is the lockbox?
That's gonna be the WWE's version of the white Hummer.
Right. Who is driving the Hummer? Who has the key to the lockbox?
Somebody, if anyone listening is going to WrestleMania, please bring up a sign that says what.
Bring up the lockbox.
If you're within range of the camera, please bring a sign that says "What's in the box."
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
Please, somebody out there. That's a great WrestleMania sign. You can't deny that.
There just needs to be a whole section of people. What's in the box?
What's in the box?
But yeah, they didn't even bring that up last night, which of course, I bet you Vince improvised that at the end, because Shane was like, "What the hell are you talking about?"
Right. Oh my God, I gotta save my old man from a fucking beating now.
Maybe.
All right, let me go out there and fucking antagonize the Undertaker.
So next week, I'm hoping maybe Shane will piss off the Undertaker so much he'll morph back into American Badass Undertaker.
Right.
So at least it'll get interesting.
No,
it'll get interesting.
Right. Everybody wants American Badass Undertaker, which I can see.
Because at least American Badass Undertaker, I hate Supernatural Undertaker. Because once you have Undertaker,
no, you don't.
I mean,
no, you don't. The only reason why you hate him is because Brock Lesnar fucking suplexed the shit out of him.
Well, that, yeah.
That's why it should be American Badass Undertaker, because American Badass Undertaker doesn't take shit.
Right.
So, I think American Badass Undertaker would probably be the best Undertaker to go after Shane. That's why I'm glad he grew his hair out, by the way. I
just want to see him, ride the Harley back down to the ring. Just talk about, this is my ring, boy. This is my yard. You're coming back into my ring, my yard.
All that shit would go, and all that shit would go well with Texas too.
This is my state, son. It ain't happening.
Hey! But would he come out to Kid Rock, or would Kid Rock have to put a new album?
He'd come out to that song. Always kicking assholes' asses or whatever.
Right. I'm the Undertaker. I'm always kicking people's asses.
Which you gotta admit was a great song.
Right.
Plus, the guy's got bad knees, so he doesn't want to do the tombstone anymore. So
no, he's good. He's gonna do the tombstone on Shane, and it's gonna be from the top rope. I guarantee there's gonna be a top rope tombstone on this show. I guarantee it.
No, you know what it is? He's gonna do the tombstone on top of the cage, and
exactly.
Shane's gonna go through the cage
all the way down to the cage. And Shane's gonna pop up like RVD, 20 feet in the air just to sell it.
It's fun. We're gonna finally see that spot. If you played the old SmackDown games, we're finally gonna get that spot from the video game where you tombstone somebody on the top of the cell, and the cell breaks, and they go through.
And they just go through like a letter. They just go through like a fucking body, like a fucking sandbag. Just boom.
And the guy doing the move just grabs onto the broken cell.
Grabs onto the thing, grabs onto the corner, and just falls down normally.
That's what it's gonna look like in the video. Because that was really my first thought when I heard that Shane McMahon was taking on the Undertaker. I was like, are they announcing something like a DLC for the video game or something? This really isn't a main event for match for WrestleMania, right? This is something for the video game, right? This isn't for main event WrestleMania. So yeah, I was like, this Shane Taker thing has to be like for the video game. I was like, oh no, it's actually for WrestleMania. I was like, well, I'll be damned.
Dude, I don't know how they're gonna plug Shane and Taker. Taker's coming back, or Shane's coming back in Chicago next week. This is really where Shane's gonna come out and just cut the promo of promos on the Undertaker. If there's one guy who should cut the promo of promos on the Undertaker, it's got to be Shane McMahon.
I really hope he just continues going real. He's like, I'm not afraid of you, dead man. I'm like, you're old. You're an old dead man. You're like, you're old. You're broken down. I'm in the best shape of my life.
Right.
You got you got bad knees. You got a bad hip. Why am I supposed to be afraid of you? Brock Lesnar made you tap out. Why am I going to be afraid of you?
Exactly. If Shane, again, like how the WWE is doing, they're shooting with cap guns. How Shane McMahon, if he came out there and just goes, old man, I don't know what you've been doing in this company this whole time. I used to look up to you, and now that I'm a success, I can't believe you're still doing this. You're still this old dead man. I can't believe it. How long do you want to be dead, man?
Don't you want to like retire and do things?
Don't you have you have a wife. You have children. I think you have grandchildren, man.
You have a hot wife. Why are you still doing this?
What are you doing? I think you need to retire. And I think it should be me that retires you.
You're the last old vestige keeping this you're the last old vestige of my father's company, and if I want to get rid of my father, I have to get rid of you.
Now you want to know what we get like the old school marks fucking like to fucking throw babies in the air, as Jim Cornette says. What? Old man, I remember when you, under my father's orders, kidnapped Stephanie and put her and tried to tie her to a cross and sacrifice her. Didn't that sound ridiculous? My father made you try to make Stephanie a virgin sacrifice. How in the world can you still work for a man who makes you a joke, that makes you the biggest joke of all?
I mean, Taker, let's think about this for a second. You really had no problem going along with an attempted rape or anything?
Jesus.
It was like, is that how you really have no problem? My father.
All right, that's not shooting with cap guns. That's like that's a drive-by shooting in fucking Compton.
You really have no problem with my father's incestuous fantasies? I mean that's where Shane really should go if he wants to go nuclear.
No, don't go that way, Shane.
I would totally go that way. I would totally go that way.
That's right. Okay, there was one part in Raw that I actually decided to go ew at. There's a guy when Stephanie was doing her promo. There was a guy that was in the stands doing Randy Savage.
What's there?
Randy Savage.
I didn't even notice.
I was like, come on, dude, really?
I got to admit, I was a little Stephanie in her cowboy boots. I was a tad turned on. Especially when she was really getting into it. You could tell she was a little turned on too when she was doing it.
Oh, absolutely. That was the most turned on I ever seen Stephanie McMahon. And quite honestly, it turned me on more than anyone else, so it was fantastic.
When she got to the back, she probably grabbed Hunter and she's like, "You, me, find an office now."
Right. We're going to the boiler room now. That's why Mick Foley called it the boiler room brawl, because he used to walk down there all the time and see Stephanie and Hunter doing it. He was like, oh, it looks like a brawl. Bang, bang.
Oh, God, that's funny.
And so I actually can't wait to see what happens in Chicago. Everyone's like trying to dump on it now and like, oh, Undertaker, what the fuck? He only came out for a couple of seconds and shit. Undertaker just had to come out for a couple of seconds and say something to Vince McMahon, and that would have been it. I mean, there doesn't need to be some long, drawn-out thing. That's where Shane McMahon next week is going to come out and just cut the promo of promos.
And I really hope he antagonizes the hell out of the Undertaker to the point where everyone's like, "Oh my God, Shane McMahon is a dead man walking."
Shane McMahon needs to come out there and just sell the shit out of this WrestleMania match, because I guess they're still trying to do the lockbox gimmick and no one's paying attention. So Shane McMahon, come out there and just cut the come out there and just cut a shoot. Just go out there and shoot, man.
I mean, just go out there and just torch that bridge, Shane.
That's how you're gonna win people back.
You want the company torch that bridge, Shane.
Exactly. That's what my grandfather did, Shane. We torched that bridge. We don't talk to Ecuador anymore, Shane. Ecuador sucks.
Coup d'etat! Coup d'etat!
Coup d'etat! Coup d'etat! Libertad! 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 And then we have Tony Montana. You're dead! Stop you fuck!
Oh, God, that's great. Well,
that's what Undertaker did. He was fucking Tony Montana. Stab you fuck! And Vince McMahon, desperately talking about how he wants to disown his son, is stumbling through the fucking mob that's going through him and just dies in the corner.
Hey, no, Tony, it's not like that, man.
Manny, shoot this piece of shit. Oh, no.
Come on, Tony, no.
You know what a hoffa is, Vince? It's a pig that don't fly right.
Push it to the limit. That should be
to the limit.
That should be the theme song for WrestleMania.
Dude, there's gonna be a point where Triple H and Shane McMahon are talking on the phone, and they're gonna be laughing, and that's what it's gonna look like. It's gonna look like Tommy Montana and the dude from Bolivia laughing at each other. Tony, Triple H. I'm glad that the wrestling business is going so great. Ah, yes, very, very good.
You know what the best part about Vince's promo was last night? He said, if Shane wins, Triple H and Stephanie are going to have to quit. And I was like, wait a minute, you're just assuming Triple H and Stephanie are going to quit because you lost?
Oh, yeah. Triple H is definitely just going to stop operations right there and then. Oh, crap, my father-in-law fucking lost. You know what? He thought that he was going to go out like Vern Gagne. Like, Vern Gagne lost. Larry Sabisco had to go get another job.
Oh, sorry, Dad. I love you, but, WCW's still in business.
WCW's still in business. I gotta make a living. I gotta support you now, Dad.
Oh, that was funny. I could just see that I could just see that in, like, a month from now. Like, Shane won the thing, and, like, and Vince is like, and Stephanie and Vince are like, well, come on, Hunter, aren't you coming? Like, I never said I was gonna leave if he lost.
Exactly. I'm not tied to you people.
Just because you lost doesn't mean I didn't lose my job. I'm still COO.
See, this is where there would be a great fucking storyline where Greenwich, Connecticut just breaks in half between the Helmsleys and the McMahons. It'll be like Dallas. Everyone's backstabbing everybody else.
It all comes back to Dallas. God, I wish.
I think that's a good way. I think that's a good way to wrap everything up. I know there was a Kevin Owens match versus Big Show, and New Day came out. I already slapped New Day's ass earlier. So
I didn't watch the rest of the show. The rest of the show's on DVR. I'll watch it later. Apparently, at the end of the show, Dean Ambrose got beat up by Triple H. Yada yada yada.
Right? They tried to do the same. They tried to do the same thing. And you know what? You know what happened? People were cheering for Dean Ambrose. So it shows that It shows that you can make Triple H a heel. You just have to have the right face to go against him.
Yep. So maybe it's like, oh hell, maybe we it's like, maybe we did put the wrong person in the main event of WrestleMania.
I wonder if that's the right way of thinking about it.
So I guess on that note, we'll end it for this edition of the Raw Mop-Up. I guess maybe that's what we're going to call it, because that's what I called the written version on the Tumblr site. I used to call my Raw reviews the Raw Reacharound. Yeah. Yeah, I still haven't settled on a title. I just called it the Mop-Up. No, actually, I just said we're still alive, because I hadn't updated the Tumblr in a while. That's a good way of saying it. We're still alive. Yes, we are. Anyway, check out that Tumblr site is podcastermania.com. Podcaster Native Mania. Oh fuck it, we'll just link it in the damn thing. We'll link it into the thing here. Don't worry about it. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/podcastinators. Follow us on Twitter at podcastinators. Follow me. You can always follow me. Go ahead. You say it because you're the one there. Follow me on Twitter at JosephDavis_NYC. You can follow me if you want to follow, you can follow my wrestling thing. It'll link you to my personal. My personal is a lot more. We're going to get into better segments about politics and everything else. That's where my personal gets into interesting. But my wrestling site is dumbass, DUMASS _4 EVAR Eva. That's where you can find me. I am also listed underneath at Podcastinators. I'm trying to hype the thing on Raw. You want to know something? I think we got a couple of brand new followers just because of I know I did of doing a live stream of Raw. So I think we should do that more often, to be quite honest. I really got to soundproof this studio. You really do. My studio is not soundproofed. I want to soundproof it so I can just, at the best, I can just scream and scream and scream. Anyway, next show is going to be our Super Tuesday wrap-up, where all the millennials are going to be screaming, how come no one voted for Bernie? We're going to do a big political Super Tuesday kind of junction pretty soon. And we're going to explain how come, and we're going to break it down for why people are voting for Donald Trump, and it's not just because he's a crazy, crazy person. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to break it down to the idea that we think it has something to do with pro wrestling. Yes. If you watch pro wrestling, you'll understand why Donald Trump is winning. And you'll want to know something? I'm not the only one. Jesse Ventura fucking stole our gimmick. So Jesse Ventura understands it. If Jesse Ventura understands where we're coming from, I think everyone else should. So we're going to lay it all out on the line. We're going to tell you the reason why Trump is winning everywhere and why you should vote for him too, because I'm not endorsing Donald Trump, but I'm definitely going to be the guy that's probably going to defend him the whole fucking time. Right. Yeah. So on that note, we'll see. Make sure we'll probably throw this up on YouTube or whatever. Just make sure to like all of us on Facebook and Twitter. Keep following us, liking us, spread these links around. And until next time. That's the best thing you do is just spread this shit around. I would love it if everyone started listening to our stuff. Make us viral. That's the whole thing. We want to find ourselves like getting. We want to wake up one day and find out we pissed somebody off. Piss somebody off. We would love to wake up one day and find out that we were on like some wrestling website and find out that like so and so in the WWE is upset because of two old marks. Dude, I don't know if they can be upset because again, I think Vince McMahon listened to our show. I think we actually let him into the idea of the coup d'etat. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys hear the last show that we did because we literally laid it down on the line how Vince McMahon is being played for a sucker. They're coming after me.
Anyway, we're glad you listened. Follow, like, and subscribe. And what?
Until
have a
next
good
time.
night. Yeah, until next time, have a good day. Have a good night. Check out the next podcast. And keep your pipes and your glasses held.